Okay, so this is episode 0. It is October 6th currently, 2021, at 11:09 at night. And I'm just walking. I think this is a Cinnabon, technically. There's some people outside. It is only 11. I think an ideal time to do these is like around 1. But this is like a test trial and I was excited, so I wanted to do it kind of as soon as possible. I do have one, yeah, I have it. Expect there to kind of be long pauses in this one because I am seeing quite a few people. I am actually seeing a lot of people, which is like not what I wanted. I wanted there to be like 0 people, but I'm actually seeing like quite a few. Which is interesting. This is kind of like an extension of like me talking to myself a lot and going on walks, stuff. I'm thinking about things and talking to myself about things. And I was like, might as well record this. Get them on record. I don't expect much of this, but I just wanted to do it. And get it over with. See if it's okay. This is early episode 0. I think I'm probably going to publish this like today or tomorrow, depending on if I need to use certain programs to what am I trying to say, to not render it, but like finish it, I guess. So, and then also I think probably upload speed. There's actually a lot of people out here today. Which I assume is not totally unusual. I wouldn't even put it past there to be classes still going on somewhere. Though maybe there's a student thing against that, I'm not exactly sure. Yeah, in terms of like I think at the intersection, there's a girl that I'd seen before. She's very pretty. Yeah, in terms of publishing stuff, I just wanted to do it because I have a thing against, like, I like archiving stuff, and even though I think most people would say that, especially considering certain recent events, with like Facebook and Instagram and stuff, even though some people would probably say that, you know, somewhat of like a personal archive is probably better than, you know, the social media tech giants that we have today who are doing a lot of archiving. Their archives are probably like not safe and subject to things that are outside of your control. My personal setup is pretty poor in terms of archiving. It's like I just don't trust like myself, basically, which is not a good thing, obviously, but I just wanted to put these up because I think it's like a little bit more accessible just for my own personal ledger to have them up on something like YouTube. It's probably going to be primarily where I put them, at least for the first few. SoundCloud is like weird with like their restrictions on how much stuff you can post before buying a pro account. It's like I can't imagine why. Like, I haven't really looked into things like Bandcamp or Last.fm or anything like that, but like I think even those, I think Last.fm isn't really like an uploading thing. I think it's more of like a review portal or something like that. And Bandcamp is like kind of like OnlyFans for music, or like Patreon for music kind of thing, like specifically focused around music, and like sound stuff. I don't know of like a particularly like a YouTube, but specifically for like podcasts or like ramblings. I don't know of a place like that. And honestly, I doubt it exists in any meaningful way. I think most people just use YouTube. You know, it's kind of all-encompassing. So I'm just going to use that. And yeah, again, it is sort of for archival purposes. I mean, that's primarily what it is. I'm not trying to promote this or anything. They're just like talks that I have with myself that, you know, take time out of your night to do. Yeah, I think like 1 is probably the ideal time. Maybe like 12 o'clock, something like that. Starting at like 11:10 is probably a little bit ambitious as to not having anyone like, not on campus, but just like not around to overhear you, because I'm sure there's still people like in York Lanes and stuff, even though like everything's closed. I probably shouldn't mention places. Probably be pretty easy to find me if I mention places, but I don't really mind that much. I don't think anyone's gonna ever listen to this, so especially not all the way through. Okay, I think I've been going straight for 10 minutes. Yeah, I don't know. Another thing is like the actual sound quality. I think it'll be like okay, because I think the mics are okay on these things. On these Apple headphones. But I think like what I'm gonna do for the like finessing process is just like dump it into an Audition template, and I'll just have like a compressor and like an EQ. I'll just have a multi-band compressor and like a multi-band or an EQ portal, and maybe like one other thing, like a de-esser or something, and just like run that for all of them. Not do anything too like not do anything too fancy, and just try to like run it. Also switch other locations a bit would be nice. Doing different places might just bring out different thoughts. But I do have to be careful of people, because doing this looks so fucking retarded. It looks very silly doing this. Yeah, I hear music, but I don't know where it's coming from. I think there's a club that's maybe open, but I don't know. Lots of noises. I mean, if people really wanted to find out, I don't know, it's just such a narcissistic thing to think that people give a shit. Yeah. But going to like parks or something and walking around at night, yeah, it might be an option, but I might have to do these things a little bit earlier so that I can get back to where I'm living. Yeah, so there's a guy playing basketball. It's like, what the fuck? It's like 11 o'clock at night. Who the fuck are you hooping for, bro? She doesn't know your name, bro. She's not watching. There's like literally girls like crooning over a guy like missing layups unimpeded on like an outdoor court. Like, oh, he's so cool. That would be dope. Yeah. What else? I guess this is called Nighttime Warblings. I don't know, I was thinking of like naming each episode like just a different thing, like a different show entirely. Like if I wanted to talk about a movie, I'd have to come up with like a good name for a movie. Like a movie review show or something. Which I haven't figured that out yet. Just call it On Cinema. Cinema Walks. 24 frames per second. Just to do something like really, really stupid. Thinking about just going for like an hour and then heading back. It's probably the plan. It's probably the plan. Yeah, I don't exactly know what the topics are going to be for this, but I think I'll probably just do one. If I ever have like the inclination to. I don't think I don't know if it's gonna be a regular thing. I think I'm gonna try, like the goal is like one a week. But I really don't know. I might not have a topic for that. I might not have like things to say for that week. And I'd like to stretch something out to like an hour. Um, Even if it's full of like breaks and like silence and stuff. If I could just like walk around for an hour and keep thinking of things to say every now and again, I think that would be satisfactory. Because it's really not like, I mean, this is just something that I'd be doing anyways. Just walking around and like, I mean, the walking around part for sure, the talking to myself, kind of. But, yeah. Also, I guess one thing that I could actually talk about a little bit is, the persona of this, not the persona, but the, I don't know, the joke. I guess I'm gonna put this under like my 1984 is the present Twitter account, which is very small and shitty and bad, but I'm gonna put it under there just because I don't know, that's also like the SoundCloud and like the free YouTube page I have to put these things up. And I think that avatar is from the movie 1984. I think most people know that image because it's passed around a lot as like the sort of baseline picture of Big Brother. Oh, there's a little rabbit. Wow, they really come out, don't they? That's funky. Yeah, he's the Big Brother in the movie, and he's just like a random actor that they pulled. His name's Bob Flagg. And I guess I'm just gonna like put everything under that. I guess I'm gonna post it on the Twitter account too. I guess it's not really much of a joke. Because that Twitter account actually, it started as like a very like hyper ironic, not hyper ironic, but just like there was a bit in it. And that bit has kind of like died as I've like continued using the Twitter account. I kind of just use it as like it was supposed to be like a very like self-serious kind of like people who like read 1984 and then base their entire perspective of politics on it. Those people, I was gonna like reply to a bunch of politicians and like just badger people about whether or not they'd read 1984 or whatever. And that kind of died pretty quickly, kind of. And then the like secondary purpose of the Twitter account took over, which was just like be a diary, basically. And that's kind of what it is now. It's kind of just like if I'm in the mood and I want to type things on a computer, then I just open up that Twitter page and type things into it, which is kind of what this is too. So I think that the two kind of fit nicely together. Yeah. So I'm probably going to connect these two things, and I'm going to be posting them under like the same name and whatever. So there is that. I like the night. I like nighttime. It's very quiet. It's very like, it is kind of like a bizarro world of the day. I don't know. The day always like, I don't know, if you're thinking of like in computer terms or like sound equipment, the day is always like more information. It's always like more noise. Whereas the night is somehow like, I think like there is like a trend in visual aesthetic of like trying to upend that, where it's like the daytime is somehow more calm, and I don't know, especially in like neo noir, like cyberpunk, like underground, crime sort of films, anime stuff. It's like there's more information in the nighttime, and the daytime is when things are like calmer, where things can happen in more productive fashion. Nighttime is more chaotic, but I think this might just be the fact that I've like never engaged in those kinds of things, but the opposite is always for me. The daytime is more information. It's more noise. There's more like there's more things escaping like the bandwidth of your mind, and the nighttime things can be kind of calmer. And I don't know, you almost have more control because you're more like aware of your own sort of mortality. You can kind of take control of things more. I've been reading a lot more. I was sort of a big reader, or I thought I was a big reader when I was a kid. I would read kind of like constantly, but I would kind of read like the same things. And that might have been like a byproduct of just not having a wide range of books when I was a kid. I thought that was a curled up squirrel, but it was just a rock. And that rabbit is now chilling on the grass. The fake grass, maybe. I'm gonna follow it around for a bit, see what happens. Oh, it's just scarpering. Oh my god, it's going full tilt. Wow. Nice rabbit, though. Where am I going now? I guess up here. I think this leads to the highway, which would be a good bit of noise to put in this. But yeah, I used to be like a bigger reader when I was a kid, but I would read like really, really basic stuff, like not like below my reading level, I guess, but nothing that was like super challenging, or like nothing that wasn't like approved. You know what I mean? So I would read a lot of like Redwall and like Harry Potter. Like I read Harry Potter like constantly. Kind of Lord of the Rings. Like I've read that series once, and I think I've read The Hobbit like twice. What else did I read? I read a lot of like Greek myths and stuff, and I don't know, I think that like my growth as like someone who tries to like take care of themselves, if that's like a term one can use, was like stunted by the fact that I just never like grew out of being 8 years old until I like stopped reading altogether and basically just like played video games. It the more I get away from like the hardcore video game days, not like hardcore, I don't know if I was ever like hardcore, but there would be days where like, you wake up, hit the power button, and like don't do anything else until you fall asleep. There would be a couple of those days. Now there's like, I think I've limited that. Hopefully I have. Hopefully I've found ways to. Hopefully I'm doing other things. But yeah, I stopped reading books for like a long time. Basically, like all through high school, like I just didn't read books. I've read a couple. Like I read a few. Like The Idiot. I read The Idiot by Dostoevsky. I read like the Sound and the Fury. I read The Sound and the Fury. I read fuck. I mean, there's always the stuff that the school supplies you with, but outside of that, I didn't really read that much. And I started to try to read Ulysses in high school. So towards the end, I think I got back into books. Um, but recently, I've been trying to read a lot more. And even though I am a slow reader, um, like a really slow reader, I think I'm super slow. I think one thing is that like I'm kind of I'm like a school speed reader, right? Where it's like I don't know, when you read books in school, they don't want you to read more than like 20, 30 pages at a time because that's like a chapter in most books, and they usually want to like go by the chapters, and they want to like th- there's always this like need to foreshadow like I guess part of media literacy, or like I guess not media literacy but just literacy in general for teachers or the curriculums is having the kids like guess what's going to happen, which to me is like somewhat pointless. I think you should look at a book like as it was. And I also think it's much better to have something happen in a book and then go back and look at how that was like set up. Or what it means given what happened before. Anyway, I haven't been reading a ton of fiction. I've been kind of reading more like history / like philosophy, nonfiction type of stuff. Um, and it's been really good. It's been pretty fun. I'm really enjoying it. It is like kind of work. I think some people would say is that reading is like a type of work, um, where it's like a skill at least. Reading well, getting as much as you can out of something, which I still struggle with constantly, is like just trying to remember things that happen, trying to like I think I do pretty well with like piecing stuff together, but the things that I piece together have to be in your brain, right? So if like you read something and then you just completely forget it, I mean, you'll never be able to piece it together. You'll never be able to create a line, a connection, or like a metatextual reference. You'll never be able to do that if you don't have it in your brain, right? So it's just about like remembering things, and I'm not taking notes on the stuff I'm reading. That will probably come. I have taken notes before, like I read Hume's like opus or whatever, the thing that everyone quotes from Hume. Um, I read that during the summer, early in the summer, I think, and I forget what it's called. It's like something on human understanding. It starts with an A. I'm just like blanking on the word. But I took notes for that, and most of that is kind of like I think settled in my brain pretty well. Um, yeah, I read him following a Kant course that I took, which was really good, and the professor really sort of detailed how Kant basically just like I mean, there's lots of direct references to it in the book, but I mean, Kant specifically mentions that like he read Hume, and then he was like, "Wow, this is so wrong," and I'm gonna prove that it's wrong. It like awoken in him like the need to sort of set the record straight, I guess you would say. Um, but yeah, really liked that Kant course. It was really good. We didn't read all of the Critique of Pure Reason, and we also didn't read any of his other books, which I guess depending on who you ask is like probably not the best way to teach Kant, but it was like a half it was like a semester course, right? It was like half a year. It wasn't like a full year. It wasn't like a you know I assume that if you were to take like a philosophy major, or if you were to study like German idealism or something, Kant would feature much more heavily, and you would do multiple courses on him, probably reading like each of his like 3 tomes or whatever. Really study him, which of course, like, I only have his one book and it cost me like $50. I think it cost me like $60 to get that like whole book in like paperback too, so it was like crazy. I mean, $60 is probably isn't that much for like 1,000 pages, but I just thought like, Jesus. Imagine buying it, the whole box set of Immanuel Kant's books. I guess you can all find them on PDFs, but I hate reading from PDFs. I fucking hate it. I hate reading electronically. I think I've been wondering, and I think I might do this, but like, I've been thinking that I might just buy like a Kindle or some kind of e-reader, some kind of like ebook. Just because I wonder if it's like slightly better than, I just hate reading from a computer, right? I just like the physicality of a book. I think it's easier for me to read from. And I just hate reading from PDFs. I hate reading from like computers. But if I had an ebook, like a tablet, it might be a little bit more palatable. I'm not sure, but I've been thinking about that for a little bit. And I'm sure that they're not that expensive. I mean, especially if you got one that's like dedicated to just being an ebook, that doesn't have any like, I mean, an iPad isn't like the cheapest thing in the world, but like, if you were to get like an ebook that just had that kind of functionality, like it just flips through PDFs really nicely, I'm sure that it would be fine. But iPads are pretty versatile. Lots of artists swear by them, I think. At least as like, if you're not going to get a Cintiq or like there's another brand. I think Cintiq, I think I was saying it wrong. If you're not going to get like a dedicated drawing tablet for a computer, iPads work pretty well, I think. They have a nice stylus, I think, as well. So they're very versatile little gadgets. But that's how they rope you in, isn't it? That's how Apple gets you, is they have other people swear by them. I'm getting a new computer, which means that I will probably, I don't know, because if I want to put like thumbnails on these, or like images when I upload them to YouTube, and I'm not sure if I can do that in Audition, and if I can't, or like I might be able to do that using the YouTube like creative video, but I'm not sure. So if I can't do that, I don't really want to like render stuff with my current setup. So I think I might just wait for my computer if I can upload this with like the YouTube creative video thing, which I think will just allow you, like, I want to put an image here, and they'll be like, okay, we'll put your image there, and then like upload the audio or whatever. Might be a little bit janky, but it's kind of how I want to play it for right now. Anything else that I need to like get through off the bat? I don't know. Yeah, hopefully it's not too like, the audio quality isn't too shitty and like my voice is coming through fine. This is kind of like episode 0, so I think it's fine if like it's shit, because it's just like a test run, like my first time doing this. Yeah. Again, just stuff I would be doing otherwise. I would otherwise be talking about, you know, not liking reading electronically and stuff. Yeah, but the only reason I brought up reading was that I'll probably be talking about stuff I'm reading. I might talk about William Lyon Mackenzie in like the first episode, because I read a book about him, and it was very interesting. It was very cool. The nice thing about this is that, like, it kind of just looks like I'm on the telephone, because I think a lot of people talk on the phone like this. So that's kind of like my out, as it were, is that I could just say that I'm on the telly. I could just say that. Could just say that I'm on your fucking telly. And that might cover my ass for a while. Nothing should be open, right? Because I am kind of hungry and I kind of want to get like a snack. I mean, I guess there's like vending machines. I'm more thirsty than I am. I am more thirsty than I am hungry. And I do have change, so I might go get something from the vending machine. Yeah, this one will probably go up tomorrow, next day, and then I might do one over the weekend. And might do one over the weekend and do like a proper episode one, if I like doing this enough. Chuggo juice. Jungle juice, I'm feeling like, yeah. Oh god. I want to kill myself. Ugh. I hope this doesn't get content flagged by YouTube algorithm. I hope my content doesn't get flagged. My content. I love content. It's such a great word, content. Yep. But these are just like archived conversations. I was thinking about like, well, you know, sometimes I'll do this where I'll like go out and talk. Like just like talk things out with myself. And like I'll go outside and whatever. And I was thinking like, if I were to record them, it creates like a different dynamic. Where I'm thinking about what I'm saying because it's being recorded. But I think the operative sort of mindset is to just think about like that no one will ever listen to this ever. So considering that, you know, I think I shouldn't worry too much. But thinking what I'm going to say and trying to change it. Yeah. Coming up on 40 minutes. I think there will be lots of sound, or like silence in this one. So, can't say whether or not it's going to be a very good test episode. But hopefully some of my voice came through and it's not like awful. Yeah. more people now. I'm in an area where more people will flock. Sienna. Who made Sienna? Toyota. Honda Civic. Another Honda? No, it's a Toyota, I think. Toyota Highlander. Huh. Interesting. And a Lexus. Lexus IS 350. With a mask under the wheel. Probably a pretty nice car. But it doesn't really look like much. I'm thinking vending machine. So I'm thinking that I should walk down here. That guy was like vaping weed or something. I don't know. All these boxes are still here. I do wonder what they will be fucking used for. Okay. I might cut this off here because I'm now going to be entering a building. I kind of don't want to be talking to myself in an echoey building. So this went for 43 minutes. A little over. And I'm done. Goodbye.